When I first saw the space, I had actually just walked up the steps. I had seen the chandelier from the Warwick Hotel. Virginia gave me the job right when she saw me, and she's like, "Do you want to be the tour guide?" I said, "Yes." And so then they brought me through after I had already agreed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It was a little bit overwhelming. And the realization of what this space is was a lot to take in, but I've just enjoyed it ever since. The American Treasure Tour Museum is one man's collection. We have all sorts of pop culture items dating back all the way to the 1800s through present day. We have about 70 classic antique cars, like the ones I'm standing in front of. We have the largest collection of mechanical music in the country, and you'll hear things here that you can't hear anywhere else. We have stuffed animals. We have the Litt Brothers department store Christmas Colonial Village from the 60s and 70s. We also have Philadelphia Toboggan Company roller coaster carriage from the 1930s that I would never be caught in if I lived during that time. We just have all sorts of items. If you can dream it, it is here. Yeah.
American Treasure Tour was founded by myself and my wife, Ginny, and it's been about 15 years now. My background is in the antique business, as is my 92-year-old father, who is still going strong at buying and selling antiques. And the collector was one of our best clients. And 15 years ago, he looked at me and said, "You helped create this mess, now figure out what you're gonna do with it." We came up with the idea of opening it to the public, and he resisted. He often said to me, "Well, it's just my stuff. Who would want to come see my stuff?" And I said, "Look, I think there's more interest here. I think this is something that you need to share with people." And he said, "Well, give it a try. If you can make something out of it, more power to you."
When I first saw this space, I was amazed that anyone could collect that much and have such a broad interest, because really more than just mechanical items like music and automobiles, there is such a love here of what people bought and sold and used through the past 100 years in this country. And I was just overwhelmed by it and loved it.
The collector is definitely a very private person.
He was hesitant at first to open it up to public, but we assured him that he would remain anonymous, which was his only wish.
Our collector liked buying things in groups. I know at one point we bought 900 clowns. So there's 900 clowns within the walls.
We don't have just one item showing up at a time. We have 300 items coming in at one time, or 1,000 items coming in at all time. So it's just constantly being added to.
We get so many new items all the time. Our motto is there's always room for more. Up until recently, most everything that people saw when they came here was purchased by our collector. But once people started to hear about us and we became popular, we started to get phone calls and people were curious if we would take donations.
We have taken in some collections. Recently, 1,400 Raggedy Anns came to live here. I should say Raggedy Ann and Andy. I know there's Andys in there too. And just in the last week, we've moved 378 telephones to go out on display. So it is a constantly evolving museum. I've always resisted using the word museum because we are not a conventional museum. If you are a museum goer and you expect to see curated collections and dust-free cases, we're not the venue for you. We are definitely a non-museum museum.
The curation style of this space is pretty much non-existent. We have people that say, "Gee, how do you call this a museum?" But a museum by definition is a collection of historical items, artistic items, scientific, and pop culture, and that's what we have. We have music, we have all kinds of inventions. We have all of these things here, but because what we show people is such a broad range of things, we kind of let it to the public to decide if something should go where it is, and we like it that way.
The American Treasure Tour doesn't really fit into the normal museum category, and it's quirky and it's constantly evolving. The collector is constantly adding to it, and sometimes it's a scramble to put something on display. And a lot of the time, we don't know everything about everything that's on display. It's impossible to know everything, and it's not stuffy. I'm not going to say typical museum is boring, but you kind of go in and you know what to expect, and you get a nice placard, and it gives you a nice solid description of exactly what it is you're looking at, and you go out and you feel like you've had an educational experience. And when you come here, it's kind of like overwhelming, and you're in shock for most of it, and trying to absorb everything that you're seeing is impossible. And you go to a typical museum and you go back again a month later, it's the same experience. And here it's constantly evolving, and you have a different experience every time you leave here. You could come on a Friday, and then you can come back on Saturday, and you will see completely different things that you missed the first time. And I really can't think of another place that would give you an experience like that.